Thank you for joining us today. It's so good to see you again.
Anytime, Sarah.
Yes. Tell us who you are and what your cosplay name is.
Okay, I am Kris Ferraro. I'm from Denver. I am a cosplayer that goes by Hrefna Volsung, which is a long story.
Awesome. And how long have you been cosplaying?
I have been cosplaying since I was 13, so close to 20 years.
That's amazing. What was your first cosplay?
I think my first cosplay was a punked out Sailor Mars from the Sailor Moon Sailor Scouts.
I love Sailor Scouts. I love Sailor Moon, so this is amazing. I know she did a punk scout for this weekend too.
Yeah, I did Mercury.
It was so cool. She came in, I was like, my only regret was I didn't get to shoot with you. I was like, I need to shoot this when I'm back. We're gonna do that.
Oh yeah, I'll keep it.
And what has been your favorite cosplay you've ever done?
My favorite cosplay. I think my favorite cosplay is a Scarlet Witch. Although I really like Mara Jade too, because Star Wars.
Yes.
For life. But I think I resonate more with Wanda than anything else.
Excellent. And what would you say got you into cosplaying? This is the story.
So, my mother was a seamstress when I was growing up. She was actually a fashion designer before I was born.
Things I don't know.
Okay. And she would always make these gorgeous Halloween costumes for me every year. And then I started getting really into comic books and really into anime, and I would ask her over and over and over and over for all these different costumes. And eventually she just kind of gave up, and she's like, here's a sewing machine, do it yourself.
She's like, I'm done with you. Do it, learn.
So that's essentially how I got into cosplay. Was she got really tired of me asking her for things and just kind of did it herself. And then my best friend and I started going to cons together. So he and I went through our entire teenage years going to Starfest and all sorts of different conventions throughout Colorado.
It's amazing. It's always fun when you have those friends you can go with. You're like, bring friends. Don't go alone.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome. And what would you say to your younger self now? Like things that maybe cosplay has taught you, things that you like feel like you've grown. Like what would you tell your younger self?
Time management is key. When building something, I would always wait till like the very last second to decide what I was going to do, and then build it all night, and then wear it throughout con, which was totally satisfying, totally worth it. But now that I'm older, I know that sleep is definitely necessary. And then also that there's really no character that you can't cosplay. Pretty much.
That's amazing. And what would you say to a little girl that was like, oh, that's so cool, what can I do to be like that? Or what would you say to a little girl that came out and like obviously was like, oh my gosh, because this is about like empowering little girls,
right?
And people that don't think about it, especially like women. Just there's a lot of like conversation right now about equality and the different forms of that. But what would you say to like a younger person that maybe is at their first con or something, a little girl that was like, stars in her eyes?
Don't let somebody tell you no.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. Anytime.